No one in the courtroom seemed to blink. The overhead lights buzzed like faint whispers, casting shadows across the polished wood panels and the solemn faces of those present. The judge's gavel had yet to fall, but the atmosphere was already heavy with anticipation and dread, like something sacred was about to be defiled. At the center of it all sat Noah Vance, 28 years old. Once celebrated as a brilliant mind in criminal psychology, he was now simply the accused, hollow-eyed, wrists cuffed, shoulders slumped under the weight of allegations that had already broken half his life before the trial even began. Across the aisle, Claire Maddox, 30, assistant district attorney, reviewed her notes one last time. Her expression was composed, every gesture precise, but her mind was a whirlwind. She had chased this case for months. Sienna Ward's death wasn't just another headline, it was personal. She and Sienna had grown up in the same neighborhood. They weren't best friends, but they had shared the same sidewalks, the same teenage fears. And now, Claire had become the voice Sienna no longer had. Court is now in session, the bailiff declared. The trial of the state versus Noah Vance had begun. 2 years earlier, Noah had been thriving. A sought-after forensic psychology consultant, he lectured part-time at the university and contributed to federal cases involving criminal profiling. He was ambitious, yes, but methodical, stable. Then he met Sienna Ward. She wasn't like anyone else in his world. Sienna was an artist, restless, bold, emotionally volatile, but intensely charismatic. They met at a gallery event, her words slurred from too much wine, her laugh infectious. He was drawn in instantly. They moved fast. Too fast. In 6 months, she moved in. And just as quickly, it fell apart. She disappeared for days without explanation. She accused Noah of trying to control her when he asked simple questions. He tried to help. He researched emotional trauma, offered to find her a therapist. But Sienna didn't want fixing. She wanted chaos, and when it came, it consumed them both. Then one stormy night, it ended. Back in court, the prosecution painted a vivid picture. Sienna had left Noah. She was seeing someone else. She had returned to pick up her things, and an argument erupted. Noah, consumed by jealousy and anger, strangled her with a belt from the coat hanging behind his door. The crime scene photos were shown in excruciating detail. Sienna's body on the floor, lifeless. The bruising on her neck. The overturned lamp. The torn curtain. The jurors flinched. Noah did not. Claire leaned into the silence. Ladies and gentlemen, this wasn't a moment of passion. This was planned. Controlled. Precise. Just like every paper Mr. Vance has ever written on sociopathic tendencies. He knew how to leave no prints, except the ones we found. She gestured to the forensic diagram. Noah's fingerprints were on the belt, but also on the wine glass, the doorknob, and the bathroom mirror. He lived there. Still, the evidence was damning. Then came the defense. Lucas Quinn, 29, stood, shoulders tense but voice steady. He had known Noah since childhood. They had survived public school, bullies, and broken families together. Noah had once sat with Lucas in a hospital waiting room for 11 hours after Lucas's brother overdosed. Now, Lucas stood for Noah. The prosecution gave you a story, he told the jury. A story with villains and victims. But this isn't fiction. This is real life. And in real life, the truth is messy. He brought out the timeline. Noah's cell phone GPS history, the smart lock records from the apartment, the digital timestamp of the security camera in the hallway. If the defense was correct, Noah had been gone from the apartment during the likely time of death. Then he brought out the letter. Exhibit 17B, a handwritten, tear-stained letter found in Sienna's sketchbook, dated 2 days before her death. Noah's the only one who sees me, but I keep pushing him away. Maybe because I don't think I deserve that kind of peace. If anything happens to me, it won't be him. I know that. Deep down, I always have. Claire objected. Hearsay. Not admissible. The judge considered. Overruled. The letter stayed. As the trial unfolded, so did the contradictions. Witnesses from the building said they saw someone leaving that night, but not Noah. A tall man in a dark coat. Security footage had a gap, 10 crucial minutes missing, conveniently during the estimated time of death. An IT expert from the defense testified that the footage had been remotely tampered with. Not deleted, just corrupted. Then came the revelation no one expected. Sienna was pregnant, barely 8 weeks. The medical examiner hadn't seen it initially, but during re-examination requested by the defense, the truth emerged. And Noah wasn't the father. The courtroom fell into stunned silence. The defense called Dr. Maya Benton, 41, Sienna's former therapist. With the court's permission, she revealed Sienna had been involved with a married faculty member, one who had threatened her to keep quiet. Lucas dropped the bomb in his cross-examination. And was that man Claire Maddox's supervisor? Objection. Sustained. Claire confronted her boss in private. "You knew," she whispered. "You knew she was seeing someone. And you let me walk into this trial blind." He didn't deny it. "She was unstable. You said it yourself. Don't let this derail your career." But it did. That night, Claire didn't sleep. She replayed Sienna's voice messages, the ones she had deleted in grief. She realized the signs had been there all along. The bruises hidden under makeup. The frantic texts. She had blamed the wrong man. On the final day of trial, Claire shocked the courtroom by withdrawing her closing statement. Instead, she stood in silence. "I came here to seek justice," she said quietly, "but I cannot, in good faith, push for a conviction when I no longer believe the full truth has been told." Guess. The judge called for order. Lucas gave the closing argument alone. "Justice is not a weapon," he said. "It is a light. And today you have a choice. Do you choose to blind yourselves to what's missing? Or do you shine that light where it belongs?" The verdict. After 23 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. Noah didn't cheer. He didn't cry. He just stared straight ahead. Outside, reporters clamored. Claire walked past them silently. She didn't return to the DA's office the next day. Or the day after. Noah returned home to silence. But then, 3 days later, he received an unmarked envelope at his door. Inside, a flash drive. He clicked it open. Surveillance footage. 10 missing minutes. A man in a trench coat entering the apartment. Not Noah. Justice had cleared Noah. But the truth had just begun speaking. Because the price of justice isn't always paid in a courtroom. Sometimes it's paid in sleepless nights, in broken trust, in the quiet undoing of lives built on silence. And sometimes, the truth comes too late to save the innocent, but just in time to haunt the guilty. Behind the polished reputation and crisp suits, Claire's supervisor hid more than an affair. He hid a motive. It was his threats that silenced Sienna. His fear of exposure that drove the final act. And while Noah stood trial, the real architect of her death sat comfortably just a few feet away, untouched by suspicion, until now. He is the man in the black coat. Subscribe, like, and comment for more videos like this.